Hi, welcome to the Ownership Journey podcast, where you're going to hear real stories from past clients who have left the corporate world to become business owners. And they did it through curiosity, education, clarity, and intention. Each episode is going to feature past clients that are going to be reflecting on their transition, the questions that they faced, the concerns that they had, life as an owner, and their advice now to listeners who are considering a career transition into business ownership. If you're exploring or considering what's next beyond your day job, this podcast and coaching experience is the right thing for you. I'm Joe Forbiducci, a career ownership coach, an entrepreneur, and an ex-corporate executive. And in each episode, we're going to explore what could happen for you if you approach this experience with curiosity and open to learn in an environment that is stress-free, that has no costs associated to it, no commitments, no decisions, and no obligations. All right, it's time to get started. Well, first of all, I want to thank you. With my guest today is Aneetha Vijay from Los Gatos, California. So she's a client that I worked with probably about a year ago, I guess, and so she's now a business owner. So I'm happy to have her as a guest, and I'd love to hear her share her story for everybody else. So what I'd love to do, Aneetha, is just kind of share with everybody kind of what were you doing prior to going through and becoming a business owner.
First of all, thank you so much, Joe, for this opportunity. And you have made a great impact in my career. So, looking forward to this conversation. Before before chatting with you or before considering entrepreneurship as a path, I was in the tech industry, technology industry, all my career. I started working around the dot com boom period, like 1999. For the last 25 plus years, I've been in the technology industry, worked in larger companies like PayPal for 6 or 7 years, and then Bill.com for 8 plus years, Upwork for a couple of years. So I've moved around a little bit, but predominantly in the tech sector. Started as an engineer, software engineer, and then after 7 years, switched to product management. Before I quit my corporate job, I was a VP of product, responsible for payments products, managing a sizable team. And then I decided to change my path.
So was there a catalyst, Anita, that kind of spurred you on to say, hey, you know what, I want to kind of maybe look at other options outside the corporate world and see what might be out there? Or was there something there that kind of stimulated that thought?
I think it kind of built up over time. So I can't like pinpoint like the exact time or like the exact thing that pushed me to entrepreneurship. I would say, Joe, like around COVID, I worked closely with small business owners, be it at Bill.com or PayPal or Upwork. So I know firsthand all their challenges, pain points. So I definitely have a soft corner, for the small business community. And during COVID, we witnessed, how challenging it was for small business, like our local shops, the challenges they were going through. So, around like the COVID, like 2022, 21, I would say. I had this drive to become an entrepreneur, and every year I'll keep saying, okay, like I'm going to make some steps towards that. And then 2022 went, three went, four went. Like it just became like a thing. Like every new year, I'll have this aspiration, the drive, and then it kind of, in the corporate job, a well-paying corporate job, so you're in that golden handcuffs, so
Right,
there is
right.
this like fear of like leaving that cushion and getting out. So that was one. And then early 2025, something happened. I think one main driving factor for me is the fear of not trying entrepreneurship and retiring, right? So that fear was humongous. And then the second thing is like my mission. I want to be an entrepreneur, but I didn't know what mission or what passion to follow. So that was also a little bit vague until 2025. I want to do something positive for small business community. So that
Hmm.
mission was very clear in my head. I don't know how I'm going to make it happen, but just like helping small business owners in a positive way, that's the mission. And then like I have to do something in 2025. And then there was also this like at my deathbed, would it be fine if I tried something, even if I failed? At least the satisfaction of trying something, like that would be huge. For not just like not trying or not even giving a shot, then I wouldn't forgive myself if I don't even try it. So all that made me push to like make the big decision, like quit the corporate job. So that I did end of Feb. And then I started looking for opportunities. Okay, like how can I help small business community? What product can I build? Then I started my discovery journey after I left my corporate job.
What an awesome story. Thank you for sharing that. So tell me, when you were going through your education and discovery process, were there surprises, or what were some surprises that you encountered when you were getting educated about business ownership and going through the discovery?
Yeah, I would say the very first thing I did was join a nonprofit. It's called SCORE. SCORE's mission is to help make the small business community thrive via free mentorship and education. So this is like a litmus test to validate. Okay, I want to help small business. Is that really what I want? Like I want to put it in practice and like validate my mission. So I did that, and then the more I talked with small business owners, the challenges, even like the little bit of like sounding board advice I was able to give, like it felt really good for me. Every client session was very satisfying. So I did that on one side. And then I started talking with small business owners around my community, people who we shop with for years. And they gave their feedback, all their challenges. But for me, like it was all over the place. I couldn't find, okay, like this is the problem, I really love, I want to spend rest of my work life focusing on solving the, like I didn't find any like silver bullet like that. So that when I was going through like figuring out what to do, that's when someone from Entrepreneur Source reached out to me in LinkedIn. Like call it timing, right? So like at the right time, the message came. If it had come like a little earlier when I was in the corporate job, I would have just ignored. There's so many things I would have ignored. But this, like, you're in that discovery journey, trying to figure out what to do. And then this email landed. I was like, what's in it? Like, let's just, try it out, right? And then I went and looked, what is this Entrepreneur Sources about? When I was like, doing some research on their website, that's when I saw your like Zoom call to explain what it is. And then I just like signed up for it. And I attended your Zoom call, got to meet you. And then when you and I, we first started conversing, you talked about franchising. Up until that point, I think the biggest aha moment for me is, in my mind, franchising means Subway, McDonald's, right? Like that's what, like, definition of franchise in my head is. And then when you said, okay, like, I want you to like, are you interested in exploring franchising? I think like something along the lines you asked me. And like, I was not there at all. It's like, no, like me running a Subway, me running a McDonald's, I'll be terrible at it. I don't know anything about that industry. I will not be able to, be happy with that, right? But then you pull me aside. Hey, like, just like work with me. Tell me about your passion, what you want to do. That whole exercise, I think it just landed at the right time for me. I'm very grateful for those initial discovery sessions, how we unpacked what I want to do and the options you put in front of me. I think that was like a big aha moment, which was like a pivotal moment for me.
Good. Well, I love your passion, Aneetha. I love your curiosity. I mean, you're the ideal client, someone who's just willing to learn, wants to learn, who's curious, and just what you did. You had an awesome opportunity to go through the discovery. So, tell me a little bit about the business that you landed on that you've been working on for the last, I guess, what, almost a year now, maybe.
Yeah, I think all the you shared with me four options or so focused on, like, helping small business. I liked all of it. There were some whose process wasn't as streamlined as I wanted to be, but out of all, I landed with Schooly Michelle. It's a cost reduction. We are the cost reduction experts for small medium business. That whole due diligence, like a person who hasn't been exposed to franchising other than knowing about Subway or McDonald's, like that whole process itself, it's a lot of like moving parts. Like when I first saw the FDD, like I was like overwhelmed. Oh my God, it's like 100 plus page document. I don't know head and tail in this document, but just like doing it in a piecemeal approach and like unpacking, all the learnings. And then the head office also was very helpful in like, like step by step walking me through the various learning phases. I think everything was great. After like I also did some due diligence, like talked with a bunch of franchisees who have been doing it for years, people who have been doing it successfully, people who had struggled and who exited. So I did my research, talking with almost close to like 20 franchisees, and out of all, I went with Schoolie Michelle because of one main reason. The biggest reason, that's their outcome based model. If I'm able to save money for the small medium business, I'll get paid. If I don't save them any money, it's absolutely a free consultation. They get to pat themselves on the back. They're running a cost optimized business. Amazing news for them, but they don't have to pay us anything. I think that was the winning criteria for me, and I ended up with Schoolie Michelle. And the whole process itself, like the way they worked with me in making sure that I was very well prepared to take this up. The discovery day, the training, all that was very good. I'm very glad I went with Schoolie Michelle.
Awesome. And what you're referring to is the validation process, which is one of the beauties of our experience is you get to validate and talk to franchisees, people that are actually doing the business and learn and ask your questions from them. So sounds like you got a lot of value. You talked to a lot of the franchisees throughout there. So that was a tremendous experience for you.
Yeah,
So I'm
on that,
curious.
one
I'm
thing I
sorry, go
would
ahead.
like to add, Joe, like, like there's so many opportunities. Even if you take franchising, there's like so many opportunities. I think the value add for me from Entrepreneur Source was like you taking time to clearly understand what your clients are looking for. What are they trying to do in their, you would call it like the career 2.0, right? Like, what are they trying to accomplish? What are they passionate about? I think clearly understanding that, and then between like you and your like head office, like you're curating the opportunities that matches what we are looking for, and also what are we capable of doing, right? So I think that whole matching criteria, and then putting like three recommendations, like even those three at that time was so overwhelming. But now that like looking at so many other franchising, it is like so wild. It's like a forest with so many opportunities to go after. But that curation you did, and then like just streamlining, hey, like do these three, and then within that prioritizing, to focus on one at a time. I think all that definitely helped, like ease the whole selection process.
Good, good, excellent. So I'm curious now, you've been doing this for a little while. So what's been things that are better than you expected being your self employed business owner, or what are some things maybe they are a little more challenging than you expected?
Great question. Better, I really love it. On a weekly basis, I'm talking with anywhere from 10 to 15 entrepreneurs from different areas, focusing on different verticals. That's amazing just to learn from their journey. So either like, and also these like relationships that's very like organically developing. I work well with like the collaborative entrepreneurs. Like win-win partnerships or always the best for me. But the amount of new people I'm seeing, the amount of partnerships, the opportunities that's opening up, I never imagined it's going to be this way. But I'm just having a fun ride with that.
Good, good.
With respect to the challenge, when I was going through the training, the discovery process, like I was thinking in my head, like, who wouldn't want this business model? Like you only pay when there is savings, and then you don't pay when there are no savings. Like every business should be like knocking at my door, asking to do a cost consultation, right? Like that's how I was thinking. Like this is like such a no-brainer. But in reality, business owners are extremely busy. They don't have time, to like think about anything else. So, like trying to get their attention, trying to get their time to, see if there is even a fit for us to do a cost assessment for them is like extremely challenging. I think
Mhm.
that was a a huge learning for me.
That's too funny. So you're trying to find the time to help somebody, right? Somebody who needs the help for them to find the time in order for you to help them.
Exactly,
Wow.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So I'm curious, what advice would you share with listeners as far as if they're feeling stuck? You talked about earlier, it was kind of a couple of multi-year journey until you finally took the leap to get educated on business ownership. So I'm sure there's many others that are stuck out there for various reasons. So what kind of advice would you offer to them if they're stuck?
I think for me, the number one thing is take time to identify your passion. Entrepreneurship is not for everyone. The road is very rough. Like especially when you're starting out, like you are the one doing everything. You are the salesperson. You are the marketing person. Like you are the customer service person. Like everything is on you. You are doing everything by yourself. So, like that passion, what is your North Star? Why are you trying to be an entrepreneur? I think like taking ample time to nail that is critical. So when days are tough, things won't go in your own way. You'll find like challenging customers, clients. So that North Star is going to be a guiding factor for you. If you're like passionate about something like these things, it's like a smaller challenge compared to the bigger vision that you're going after. So taking time to identify the passion, I think is very important.
Awesome. I love that idea, the North Star, right? Have a goal, have your North Star, know where you're going, and understand what it's going to take to get there. And that's one of the advantages too of a franchise is they provide all those support that you've talked about. They're going to give you the training, the marketing support, the website design. They're going to give you all the aspects that sometimes a small business owner doesn't get. They have that as advantages. So that's awesome. Aneetha, love your enthusiasm. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. Is there any other advice you would offer the listeners out there? Somebody who's in the corporate world, who's frustrated, who's tired, who's disappointed, wants to control their life, wants to have the smile that you have on your face. What advice would you give them?
I would say I know corporate life can be brutal, especially now in the tech market with so many layoffs. Like people might be fearful. Things look challenging, but if at all, like take the time, even like a weekend, a couple of days, just to pause and see if you're in the right path. Like whatever the hard work, the 80-hour work missing, kids, critical events, like like just take a pause and assess if it's all worth it. If you feel that it's not meaningful anymore for you, then at least like look at alternate options, what else you can be doing, so, and even if you want to do like a baby step towards your ideal career, even like try exploring that is definitely well worth it.
Awesome. I love that. I'm going to paraphrase what you said. What I heard was basically give yourself permission to dream and to explore and learn what might be possible. So many times you're right. When you're in the corporate world, you're in that grind and you don't stop and give yourself permission to say, what do I really want to get accomplished? What are my passions? Where do I want to go? Kind of a thing. So I love that. And so I'm going to just put a note out there for our listeners and just say to remember that this experience is not about making decisions. It's really about just learning and having that curiosity to see what might be possible for yourselves and what might be attainable. So, Aneetha, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate everything and all you're doing. I love your enthusiasm, and I look forward to seeing where this is going to take you.
Thank you so much, Joe, for like directing me at the right time of my career. If not for you or for Entrepreneur Source, I would have never jumped into franchising. I'm really grateful for the connection we made.
Well, that's very kind of you to say that. Thank you.